Hello and good morning, folks. Welcome to another episode of Midlife Muscle and Strength Podcast with Mickey Kilmartin and
JP Wioncek.
JP. You'll never guess when I look out my window what's happening right now.
It is snowing.
Yes, in fact, It is. And the previous snowstorm has not melted away, so we're just piling it on here in New England.
Pile it up. Our snow is almost melted, and then I think we're getting a little snow this morning, maybe. It's very cold, very windy.
People down there must be losing their minds, man. I can't fathom.
Yeah, it's funny. I heard some people at gymnastics, and then I was at the golf simulator, and it's funny that, like, I don't know if you guys, it's different. We don't go out because we don't have kids. Like, well, we have kids, so it's like tough to go out. So we make every single meal at home.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys take your kids out to go eat.
99% of our meals are made by us. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone down here, like I just heard it, a couple of different groups, they're like complaining. These two women were complaining in gymnastics that they were doing so many dishes. They're like, I've never done so many dishes in my whole life. And like, we just do that all the time. Yeah. And then some guys at the simulator were like saying they were like sick of eating at home. They're like, oh, it's so boring. Like, but like, I don't know, just the lifestyle we're in and like, you know, being healthy, just like, you don't go out as much, so like everyone else is like stuck inside, and
I just say they're stuck inside having. I gotta cook for myself. This is terrible.
This is crazy. So everyone's going a little crazy down here, but we're status quo. It's kind of the same schedule for us. Yeah. Besides going out and walking, like that's the big change for us. But instead of that, we've been doing, which kind of goes into our topic today, but we do a stretch class. So like there's a little app we use and it's like splits training. So like me and my wife, we do the training. It's like a 20-minute, it's like maybe, I think it's like 20 minutes. It's like 10, 15 exercises. And at the end you do splits, like you do forward and back splits or straddle splits.
Yeah.
And we do that instead of walking. And my kids like love it because they're just like hanging on us and doing the stretches.
You're the jungle gym.
It's like a fun family time, but that's what we do in the morning instead of walking. So
yeah, that's
some activity.
That's the one thing that I'm starting to get a little stir crazy with is I don't really mind the snow. We live in New England. It's getting a little bit annoying at this point. We saw that we were getting more snow and everyone around here just starts to like laugh. It's like, of course we are. Yeah. After we just got wrecked by this huge storm. But it's the thing that starts to get to me is the like exercise stuff. Like I can always go in the garage and work out and jump on the treadmill, but getting the kids active and like getting them outside, it's been so brutally cold. It really isn't safe for them to go out and like play too much.
Yep.
So I'm starting to miss the spring, summer, fall months where we could just be like, hey, we're all going for a walk. We're all going outside. Because gymnastics in the living room, you know, is fine, but after a while it starts to get a little hairy. And you know, crazy, you know, kids bouncing off the wood floors and things like that. So
do you show off your handstands to your kids?
I've done like the handstand every day for a month challenge thing. So I would do it and they would like mess around with me and try to knock me over and stuff. And
I feel like training with you, I always know you always had a good like freestanding handstand.
Yeah. So like I can do that still. And like, I'll mess around with them. And my oldest does gymnastics. So we got her like a tumbling mat, one of those long bouncing ones. And it's like 10 feet long, but it fits in our living room. So they'll like mess around on that. And so it's pretty cool, but just getting the stir crazy winter feels right now in February. That's about the time it always hits because it's just been long, you know, since we've seen some good warm weather.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
So today's topic is just underrated things. So we were talking this week about, you know, what's a good topic to talk about and what's something that's kind of burning a hole in our brain. And we've done underrated, overrated, I think, before as an episode, but never just like purely things that are underrated. Like this is stuff that we think people don't pay enough attention to or give enough credit to. And it's just kind of fitness, nutrition, recovery categories where these fall under. So we each made a little list and we're going to share each one and go back and forth and hopefully give people some ideas of things that maybe they, you know, discounted or didn't consider that great or that important, but are simple, I think, easy things you can do to help you with recovery, help you with your fitness, help you with nutrition, and maybe pay less attention to the things that are overrated that might be out there that grab a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You want to kick it off first and then I'll go?
It. I think my underrated is nasal breathing during workouts. So only
Oh
breathing
yeah.
through your nose. And it's funny. My dad was just reading a book. It's like kind of a big topic recently. I think a lot of people, I don't know if you look at the general public, but a lot of people like breathe through their mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
you see a lot of like teenagers. I don't know. It's just strange, but I started doing it maybe 10, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago because I was trying to not overdo it and not push myself. So like if I breathe just through my nose, it was kind of like a governor for me to be like, okay, I'm doing too much, or this is getting my heart rate up too high. More when I was recovering from like, adrenal fatigue and was doing too much.
Hmm.
My body was too tired. I used it, and then I kind of like just stuck with it. So yeah, I think like you could get a lot out of and kind of know which exercises are giving you, maybe you're pushing too hard, or you need to process, a little better with the CO2 output, by like nose breathing,
Hmm.
when you're
Did
working
your
out.
dad
Like I
read that
think,
book? You mentioned your dad. Did he read the book,
yeah,
James Nestor, Breath or
yes,
Breathe?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how important it is in nose breathing. So yeah, I think more people can spend some time there, and I think it's underlooked, underappreciated in training,
Hmm.
is your breathing. And I think it simplifies it a little bit because like a lot of people when they first start exercising, they're like, "How do I breathe? Do I breathe in and out? Like, do I just?" It's like
Yeah.
just breathe through your nose, and you'll be fine. Brace your core and breathe.
Yeah. I
So
think that's a really good one. I read that book, the one that I'm assuming your dad probably
yeah,
read, by James Nestor. Shout out him for, I think it's Breath is the name of the book, but
yep,
it it made me think about my own breathing, and it's really underrated, number one, like you said, but it's also really simple to train because you could literally be driving and just practice while you're driving, doing some mundane task, like, oh, make sure I'm taking like a 5.5 second breath in through my nose, 5.5 second breath out through my nose, and finding like a breathing cadence, because I think it's easily done when you do the dishes and practice breathing through your nose. I only do zone 2 now, breathing through my nose nasally, because like you said, it's an indicator to me. Like if I can't maintain that nasal breathing, then I'm going too hard. I don't need a heart rate monitor. If I'm just keeping it nasal breathing, nasal breaths, it's noticeable, and
yeah.
I've gotten way better at it over time, and it just pays off. I think big dividends, if you are consistent about it, for long periods of time. So my first one on my list is underrated: cold showers. Um, we know that the ice baths are a big thing, and everyone buy an ice, an ice bathtub, or get this, cold plunge thing and spend thousands of dollars, or get one of the cheap ones that's made out of rubber that's going to get a hole in it in like a week in your yard or your garage, wherever you put it. But having done a lot of the studies and like looking into the science, there's a lot of pushback now on the whole cold plunge theory, but there's a lot that supports just taking a quick cold shower in the morning, like 30 seconds to a couple minutes at the most, just to like wake yourself up with that cold shower, versus doing the whole cold plunge routine and all that. So, and it's so simple to do, and it's basically free. Right? You pay your water bill, whatever that is, but you don't have to buy a cold plunge or anything like that. So I have always been skeptical and not against, but just kind of like the cold plunge thing just seemed to not, no pun intended, hold water for me. But the cold shower thing seems to be actually pretty valid if you want to get some similar effects without having to spend a ton of money. Taking a quick cold shower in the morning, not at night, but in the morning, is going to give you a lot of the similar impact and effects that you might get out of a cold plunge, and probably in many ways might be more effective and better than doing that whole thing that is the cold plunge. And I think because it's so simple, people are like, no way, like a cold shower, that can't be like that great. But if you've ever done a cold shower, have you just like turned it on for 30 seconds to a minute cold?
Oh yeah.
And that feeling of like, that response that your body has, that's kind of what you're going for with the cold plunge. But it doesn't like submerge you in the water so long that it stunts recovery, and it does a lot of the things that you don't want a cold plunge to do to you. So cold showers, I've been trying to sprinkle them in. I hate them, but I've been trying to sprinkle them in, and it's like I said, it's 30 seconds to a minute of just cold, and then you you're done. So it's easy, simple, and effective.
I love it. Yeah. Not something I do, or like, it's funny if you were like go in this ice bath and spend 5 minutes in it, I can do it. I just don't enjoy it. Like, I
I
don't
hate it
think it's
too. I hate it.
like, but I mentally can do it. I think there's something to say like, oh, can you mentally do it? So I was like, oh, I couldn't do that. And it's like, well, I can do that. I would do that. But it's like, I don't really see the, I don't know, doesn't really add anything
Yeah.
to me.
Nope.
But I think it's good to try and good to push yourself, and you might get some. It's like coffee. It's like a natural
Exactly right. Yep.
stimulus. If you're like dragging in the morning, like take a cold shower, or I wouldn't suggest it at maybe at night, but maybe I think it's better to do in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
early in the day. But yeah, no, I think that's a good one. Um, Next one I have is I'm going to couple these together, but underrated is training your neck. And I'm going to say shoulders too. I think dead hangs. I'm going to put dead hangs in this as well. But hanging, I think, is great for your shoulders. And then training your neck, whether that's like upper back, stretching. I think a lot of people have like phone neck where they're like even reading books in bed. Like
Yeah.
your front, your collarbone, your chest, biceps get super tight. I think like working posture, and then I think there's an attribute of like even training some strength in your neck. I think maintains that position, but very underutilized. I don't think a lot of people focus on it. And this isn't necessarily just like, I wouldn't categorize traps into this. I would say it's more like pushing your head or laying back on a bench, or even I know Joe Rogan. I've never used it, but they have like the neck with the band, and it kind of rotates on your head. Something like that. Even boxers train the neck, or wrestlers like in arch positions. I think like that's very underutilized, and I think a lot of people would solve a lot of like neck, shoulder issues, upper back issues if they train the neck more. Even band pull aparts, I would throw in this category. I think a lot of people would see. I think it's going to be in the next like 10, 15 years a huge issue, and I think if you can get ahead of it, a lot of people just don't pay attention to their neck.
Yeah.
So,
That thoracic spine and neck area, like you said, the phone neck, and just the lifestyle of people today is so
yeah, like
like
if you
screen focused.
work at a
and
desk, yeah, it's just, I think it's only going to be worse and worse, and um, you know, so yeah, I think that would
That's
be underrated.
that's funny you said that, because I'm working with my buddy, and he's a jujitsu guy, and he just mentioned, he's like, "Hey, can we do some neck training?" And to be very honest, like I don't myself do a ton of neck training, but I'm not a combat sport person. I do lots of scap pull aparts and other things for my upper back and shoulders, but never have targeted my neck. So it got me, I kind of went down a rabbit hole the last couple of days, which is really weird. You said that about neck exercises and like what to do. So stay tuned, because I'll let you know, but it's definitely something that people would benefit from in this day and age with all the poor posture you see out there.
Yeah.
My next one is early morning workouts. Speaking of, I'm sticking with my theme here. So early morning workouts, early morning cold shower, early morning workouts. Why are they underrated? First of all, I know people hate them, right? No one wants to get up super early. No one feels awake to go and do a workout before everyone else is up, or if the sun isn't up yet. But I think if you can get over that hump and get into a routine where you are getting up early to work out on a consistent basis, it just opens up the rest of your day to do the things you need to do, and have that box checked. So then if you do have a long, hard day at work, you get super busy with kids, you get caught in traffic on the way home when you had planned to get a quick workout in after work was over, that's not a concern anymore. Now it's done because your workout's done, and the rest of your day sort of like is wide open. I think for me as a parent with 3 kids, it just makes me feel way more relaxed the rest of the day. I eat better, I sleep better, because it just sort of carries me through the rest of the day. And I just have less like mental stress, because I'm someone who like, I'm going to work out every day. And if I don't have to think about that the rest of my day, because that's done already, it's just, I think there's just so many benefits to it, not to mention like the physiological benefits. So like kicking your metabolism in gear, having a better appetite, and like I said, sleeping better, all that other stuff. I just think the mental benefits of like, oh, that's done, I don't have to worry about that, is really beneficial to people. It's just getting over the like having to get up early, because getting up early is not fun. Sleep is great. But it might actually improve your sleep routine because it'll make you go to bed earlier, and then therefore you're getting up earlier, and that cycle sort of just feeds into itself.
Yeah, I think it's huge. Even when I did tree work for a year, and very physical job, and I was always like, I want to work out after, but I'm always too tired. Like, you wake up and so I just woke up, worked out, and the workout was like a little bit of stretching, a little bit just opening up, like, but I felt much better throughout the day of work. And then after work, I was like, I could just rest and go to sleep early. So I think it was like kind of counterintuitive because all day during work you're moving, but it was just nice to like get a lift in or use some muscles you don't use more upper body than legs. So it was just like, I remember waking up for that, and I could never work out after. I was just like, as much as I wanted to, like I was just too tired. And I think people get tired mentally or physically, and this doesn't happen at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think like a lot of people just sat that. I love your point you brought up about sleep. They just like sabotage themselves at night. Like they watch the show for an extra hour on their phone for an extra hour. It's like an extra hour. If you sleep, you get up for that hour and then you work out, It's just wild to me, like to think that people just get out of bed, don't even eat breakfast, just get in the car and leave. Like that's how much they're sleeping in or can't get out of bed, or it's just like out of bed, right to, put their clothes on, go to work. It's like you missed out on food prep. You missed like so many things that you set your day off right by working out, food prep, like all that stuff. I think is a huge benefit and very underappreciated. I think people just like look at that time as like, oh, I don't need to do this. And it's like, it's what sets your whole day up.
I was just gonna say, it sets your my days where I get up early and work out are so much better, like organized and smoother. When I am scrambling out of bed to get out the door for work, it's much more hectic and crazy. And one caveat to this too is like if you go to a Globo gym or like a big box gym, early mornings are so much quieter. There's so few people at the gym. You're not in the rat race of like, oh, there's not a single treadmill open or there's all the dumbbells are used. If you go to the gym between 3 and 6, it is mayhem at a Globo gym, and you're just fighting for space almost always, no matter where you are. So I just think there's just so many benefits to just knocking that early morning workout out and get it done.
My wife would disagree. She says the Y is like jam packed.
That's the Y is a different animal, okay? Because it's a lot of
She said there's like 10 people outside. They open at 5, and she goes like 2 days a week, and just to use machines and kind of like she just likes doing that stuff.
The YMCA has all the older folks, and they are early risers, man.
They're banging the door down. Like they're out there before 5, and they're like, she said like it's insane. I'm sure in the afternoon it's crazy as well, but get to the gym early, get it done.
Yep. All right, what's your next one, sir?
My next one, underrated, is training without music. No music. Just you and the exercise that you're doing and your breathing. And I think it's underrated because you get all those thoughts. I think sometimes you're distracted all day. And when you're moving your body and mind, at least for me, like you think it clear, two places I think the clearest are probably in the shower. You have the best ideas. Just the water, relaxing, and then working out. It just like mentally like kind of resets my mind. I think a lot of people can't fathom working out without music. They need that distraction or something to do. I think just years of doing it. I don't know. I enjoy just working out, no music, just nothing to distract me. And it's just me in my thoughts. And, I'll even row. Like people think I'm crazy. I don't need anything. I'll row for 30 minutes, nothing. Ride the bike 30 minutes, nothing. Just like me and my thoughts. I feel like it's like almost a meditation for me. I can just like think clear or make some lists in my head. And like, I don't know, or just think about nothing. And, I think it's some valuable time that people just try to distract themselves from. So try to train without music, or without anything going on in the background. I think you'll have a more dedicated focus session. And then also I think like some of the thoughts and, mental things you'll get some clarity on.
Yeah, I love that. I started doing this because if you worked out at a CrossFit gym like we did, there's always music, right? Music is always just blasting, so it just becomes like white noise. But when I started working out alone in my garage, like kids were always sleeping or it was super early in the morning. I didn't want to wake people up. So I just started working out without music and it just became standard for me. And I didn't really think about it. But now, like if someone else is working out in the garage, like I'll have my buddy over to train for his jujitsu training. He likes music and I'm kind of like, oh, this is like I don't want to say obnoxious, but I'm just like, oh, I like forgot how quiet and just
Yeah.
like different it is without music and like being inside of my own head rather than listening to a song or something. So I totally agree. I will sometimes, to be fair, I will sometimes put on like sports. I have a TV in my garage and I'll put on like a game or something while I'm riding the bike or doing like a long cardio session. That's only honestly because like I don't get to watch much TV that like I want to watch unless I'm in the solitude of the garage. So if I
Right.
want to watch something, it's got to be then. But that's really the only thing I'll do there. But I love that too because some of my best ideas and thoughts come when like there's no other noise, right? It's just me in my own head. So I love that idea of like a meditative state almost when you're training.
Yeah, I think it's worth trying.
So I'm doing a little audible. I gave you my early list, but I'm going to throw this one in here because I was thinking about it. It was in my like bullpen of maybe use, but I just want to talk about it. Underrated body weight movements.
Mm.
I just think there's so much you can do with just your body, upper exercises, lower exercises, core, and they're just totally underrated. And I love, good equipment, dumbbells, kettlebells, machines. I love all that stuff. I think it's great. They're all tools, but I think it's really underrated by people how much you can get done with just your body. And there's sort of two parts to this. Number one, people are like, oh, I don't have access to a gym, so I'm not going to get a workout in. That's so crazy to me. Like you can do so much with just your body, like in a hotel room or some small space if you're traveling. And I think people aren't really good at moving just their body. Like they want to throw dumbbells and barbells around, but like, are you really good at push-ups? Can you do air squat perfectly? Can you do a single leg squat like a pistol? What's your lunge look like? Can you do a strict pull-up? Can you do like prone supermans like for your thoracic spine and low back? Like there's so many things I could go on this list. And if I did like a movement test on somebody who maybe they have a 405 bench, but then I'm like, all right, go do a strict pull-up and like they can barely do a pull-up or, just there's things that are just so overlooked with body weight movements that it's to me criminally underrated. And I'm always really impressed with, you see these guys online, the calisthenics guys. Those guys are jacked and ripped and they don't touch a weight. Like they just use their body to like, do pull-ups, muscle ups, dips, all that other stuff. And they're huge. And so it just is a testament to how underrated body weight stuff is. And people sort of dismiss it like, oh, I got to, throw some plates on the barbell. It's like, well, you can probably get a really good pump just ripping out some push-ups at different angles and different hand positions. You don't even need a barbell. So underrated body weight stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's just like, it's funny. It's accessible, but I think for people starting out, it's not accessible because they can't move their body, like their body weight.
Yeah.
And then I think some people just, get so into the weights. It's just like, hey, like try this out. I think a lot of people would see a lot of benefit from just moving their body a little more. And then as a trainer, like I could train someone in like a closet because you don't need that much to like, if you're doing the right form and good technique, like the body weight's all you need. You don't need weights. You have a band or a set of rings and a pull-up bar and like you could crush people,
Yeah.
Doesn't take much, but
I don't
think people are that creative either. I think people just are like, oh, I could do this, but I'd rather just go sit in this machine.
Yeah. I mean, the number of push-ups and pull-ups and dips, I know you're probably the same, like that I've done over the years. I can't even like thousands in like just body weight, but it feels good. I mean, it just feels good to be able to move your body efficiently. I just think it's so underrated.
Talk about even all the plyometrics you could do, just like in just jumping,
Mm-hmm.
It'd be in incredible shape just doing that. Next one I have is, I think underrated is a Copenhagen plank.
Oh man, those things will
So
humble you real quick.
A side plank with your foot kind of on the bench, so you're working your groin as well. I think groin training is for the normal people. I think athletes still need it. I think it's a great like hip stabilizer, core strength. I think those, for the general public, it would be huge too, just because that's not a muscle they use frequently. But I think it's such a key for athleticism. Even if you're working your outside of your hip, like your groin is really tough and it's just the stability there. I think it's, very underrated for like a movement. And it hits a lot of spots. And, it's kind of like underutilized. So I do them quite a bit just for help me with golf and rotation. But I think a lot of people could benefit from those.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing one. And again, going back to my buddy who I started working with he's got a jiu-jitsu tournament match he's got coming up, and he's wanted to work with me. He drives a ton for his job. In America, we sit in society so much that those muscles they atrophy. Like you don't engage your adductors and abductors much at all if you're just sitting. Like he sits a ton in his car. So we've done a lot of work, not Copenhagen squats. I'm going to work in his Copenhagen planks.
Yep.
We're going to work our way up there, but we've been doing a lot of band work and stuff to get him just turning those back on because they're asleep. And it's actually been giving him issues with his like low back and glutes because it's all sort of connected, right? Your body's a system. And if anything is not working right, it's going to have impacts in other places. So I love that. That was one of the areas I had the biggest issues when I got back into soccer after CrossFit is my groin. Like it was not prepared for what I was doing, trying to sprint and stuff.
Even taking like a Bosu ball and put it between your knees and then squeezing, like my hips like pop into place. Like
it's crazy.
It's wild. Like you activate those muscles and you just like squeeze for 10 seconds, 5 sets of 10, and it's like all those muscles kind of light up and turn on. You're like, wow, my hips and squats, and it's like a squat is driving knees out, but like turning on the other muscles of squeezing in like help a ton. So it's just like a great activation, prep, strength. It's wild to think, how much those help. But like every year in lacrosse, I'd always pull my groin, like just like, but you never train it, So yeah,
that's one of those that cue that you just said, the squeeze. So I told him to get like one of those big Nalgene bottles when he's driving and put it between his legs and just like every once in a while do like a 20 to 30 second squeeze just to remember and to like engage it, because it's passive while you're driving, but at least you're turning it on and cueing your body to be like, oh yeah, be engaged, because it's such the sitting lifestyle that we have, the sedentary lifestyle is just such a detriment to like the hips and low back and everything else.
Yeah.
My next one is a little food related. Fruit as a snack to take the edge off a sweet tooth. I have a massive sweet tooth, and if you left cookies and donuts and all that junk around me, I would just crush it, right? And I've been able to get away with it for a long time, but over the last few years, I've been trying to really be better because I know I can't sustain that type of lifestyle forever. It's going to catch up with me eventually as I get older and my metabolism slows down. So I've been really making an effort to just pack my lunches and keep tons and tons of fruit around. And when I get that urge to grab, an Oreo or something, I go and grab some grapes or some blueberries or some strawberries or a banana with a little bit of peanut butter or an apple, just any kind of fruit. And I've really been enjoying it. It fills me up better. I feel mentally better. Like, oh, I didn't eat junk. I just ate some fruit, which is good. And I know there's going to be those people out there. Well, do you know the glucose content of a grape is worse than a Starburst? Like all that crazy stuff. It's like, if it's coming from Mother Nature, and I just can't fathom the idea that you could say fruit's bad for you. Like it just blows my mind. Like, and if you're not a vegetable person, which I like vegetables, but mostly cooked, I don't really love raw vegetables, then grab the fruit, man. Grab fruit. Eat the fruit. It's fine. You're never going to get huge eating grapes and blueberries and strawberries and bananas. Like it's just
I thought
crazy
fruit
to me.
made you fat, Mickey.
Yeah, that's the word out there.
Bananas, all those things. Yeah. We fruit's huge in our house. And then also like it's a great snack, or it's like a great way to just end a meal. Like 5 grapes after a meal, like you just like, oh, like kind of gives you that, like, instead of having something sweet or like a, chocolate chips or whatever you would, I don't even know what people have after meals, but just like kind of gives you that sweet tooth of like, oh wow, like that tastes so good. Like grapes, I think pineapple is awesome.
Oh, pineapple's great. Yep.
Like we do baked apples this time of year, so we bake apples, and it's like just having a couple baked apples like after a meal like tastes so good. Yeah. I think fruit's huge. We go through a ton of fruit, and honestly, like you could do protein and fruit, and like I think I encourage people to eat veggies, but like if you did protein and fruit, like you'd be doing great. Like I just stuck with those two. I think as much as you could eat a whole carton of blueberries, and it'd be better than having any packaged dessert you could get. So you could just eat so much of them. It gets a little expensive, but
they do. They're pricey.
The amount of raspberry and blueberries and blackberries we go through, just like wild. But
it's crazy.
Yeah, especially kids. Kids, like that's like our whole snack for us is like
our kids love berries.
3 o'clock, we're just having berries.
Yeah. So that's the underrated, because you see people out there like coming up with like protein snacks and protein treats. It's like, just grab a banana, man, and throw if you want to throw a tiny little peanut butter on it or almond butter or something. Like, you don't need to come up with some new recipe that's a fake cookie. It still has a ton of sugar and junk in it. It's like, just eat the fruit.
Eat the fruit. I think that's I love that one. That's a good one. I have one last one. I don't know if you have one to come rebuttal, but I think sitting on the floor. We do this a lot. I think more people should sit on the floor, and just like, I think I'll couple this with like getting off the floor. I think people have to learn how to get off the floor without using their arms, just for the hip mobility and ankles. And but I think more time on the floor just helps your posture. We talked about this a little earlier with like people at desks and bad posture. I think sitting on the floor, like there's nothing to rest against. You're not like creating bad habits. Great for your core. A lot of times, like I just sit on the floor. We don't even use our couch. Like the kids want to be on the ground, so we're on the ground. So if there's anything going on, like playing with toys or just sitting there, stretching, whatever it is, I think like more time on the floor. It doesn't have to be like even just I think just sitting there. If you watch TV sitting on the floor compared to a couch, you're doing better.
A million times better, yeah.
Yeah. So I think spending more time on the ground would be a benefit for everyone.
I think that's a great one. And I didn't even think about this, but since having kids, like I've gotten better at being on the floor, because I remember my back would be like wrecked from sitting on the floor and like changing diapers.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'm not trying to say I'm like Gumby, super flexible, but now like I'm on the floor so much, changing diapers, changing the kids' clothes, playing, all that other stuff. It's not even like I have to sit and like kneel to do their tub, like in the bath. Yeah. Like I am down at that level all the time now that it's like a non-issue. But I truly remember with Hadley, our first child, like my lower back being like, what the heck? Because like you're on the floor changing diapers and stuff a ton. And I was like, my back is just like cranked. Because I just wasn't used to sitting that way, like on the floor.
Did you guys have a changing table?
Yeah, which we never used.
Ever used. It's funny, like I thought it was way easier on the ground. Like for my daughter, when we had her, my back hurt more on the changing table. Like just because like you're awkward, you're leaning over, and I'm like, this is gonna be easier on the ground. So like,
yeah. I was always afraid my kid was gonna fall off because like it kind of keeps him in there, but I'm like, one good roll, this kid's going for a cliff dive here. So
and then even I think it's tough though. Like if we're kind of mobile, moving, but like changing a kid, picking them up so you're not using your arms and have to get up from a lunge or whatever it might be. Like I always do that. I'm like, I'm happy I do single leg movements, or I'm happy I have strong legs, because it's like it takes some effort. It's like you're holding someone and you're getting off the ground, and it's like I always appreciate my fitness when I do that. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's cool. I'm glad I can do this.
Yeah, like it's not Turkish get up, but it's hard.
Yeah, where I don't think a lot of people can do that. Or maybe don't have the ability to. So
yeah. I totally agree with that. But the floor time is a great one, because just like human movement, right? Natural human movement that we should have access to and be able to do, but a lot of people just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I'll throw one more out there because we got a minute or two. And this is a thing I tell people all the time is the 30-30 cardio protocol, which, there's a lot of ways to interpret it, and you can go down a rabbit hole with this, but I think it's underrated because it's so simple. Because, some people are like, I want to do some cardio, and they'll just jump on a machine and just like go for 20, 30 minutes. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you get on the elliptical or a bike or a treadmill, and you just go for 20, 30 minutes, steady state, that's fine. But I think, more bang for your buck. I tell people, all right, if you want to do 15, 20 minutes on the bike, do 30 minutes at like a moderately hard pace, or 30 seconds, 30 seconds at a moderately hard pace, and then 30 seconds at an easier pace. And just repeat that for 10, 15, or even 20 minutes. You get a massive aerobic benefit from that is less boring than just sitting there going straight. Super simple. You just literally go 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, easy. And you can do that once or twice a week and rotate machines, do different things, and you'll see huge progress for a long time, especially if you're like coming from the couch or being not really super active or not doing much cardio. And it's a really, really simple approach that I think zone 2 is great, but I think this might be better bang for your buck for your time, because zone 2, you've got to accumulate like a lot of time. This you can do 20, 30 minutes a week and get a lot of benefit from it. And I think it's underrated just in terms of how simple it is. I have a lot of people do that protocol just for 10 or 15 minutes and will track calories that they can accumulate on the machine they're using. And it's a steady climb for a very long time. They just get better and better and better and better as they get aerobically more fit for at least like 8 to 10 weeks before we have to kind of change it up, because they'll start to top out. But super underrated approach. We used to do that a lot back in the CrossFit days. I don't know if you remember the 10-minute bikes where you just do 30 on, 30 off. And it's got low cost and ton of benefit. So underrated, easy cardio. You can do it on a bike, treadmill, rowing machine, whatever, and a lot of benefits to it.
Yeah, I feel like there's a power output strength aspect to that, which is beneficial, that you're like gaining over zone 2. Even on a bike, like sprint for 30 seconds feels much different on your legs than it might be a little lactic acid, like not so much strength. But even rowing, I think there's a lot of strength to like really ramping up a rower. Sometimes I have clients who I'm like, you can't row faster? What's limiting you? Is it like, they're like, oh, I just can't pull hard enough. It's like, okay.
Like their power and strength is just not there to do it.
So it's like, but if they did zone 2, it would be just like, they wouldn't get into that aspect of like, oh, I have to move my muscles harder. So I think like that interval is I love that protocol. Yeah.
That was one of my faves back in the day. So there's some underrated things, folks. I mean, not an exhaustive list, but we tried to hit some of the big ones we like: little nutrition, little recovery, little this, little that. And if you've got any good ones you want us to ever mention, by all means, reach out and let us know, because we'd love to talk about them. Anything else, JP, before we let the people go off and shovel here in New England for me?
No, please share and like and tell other people about our podcast. It would be a huge benefit to us. So we appreciate the support.
Yep. And if you ever want to be a guest, you're interested, let us know. The more the merrier. We like to hear people's thoughts. Pick your brain.
That's it.
Where can they find you, JP?
JP Wiz on Instagram.
You can find me at the Dad Bod Chronicles on Instagram as well. Thanks for listening, folks, and we'll see you next time.